Welcome students, class 5th, subject English, topic 3 sacks of rice. So children, before we start the lesson, can you tell me who grow crops for us? Yes, the farmers. Farmers work really hard in the field and grow crops so that they can provide us and we can have good crops every year. As you can see in the first and second picture, the farmers are working in the field. They grow crops such as rice, wheat, jawar, bajri, and many other types of crops. This is a field where crops are grown and it is also called as paddy. These are paddy fields. And in the next picture, you can see the rice crops. They are ready to harvest, means the process of the crops when they are ready. So let's start with the lesson. I will be reading the lesson paragraph wise and I will be explaining, so pay attention. You may have read many stories about three brothers. Usually, two of them, the elder ones, are strong, clever, but unkind. They laugh at the youngest one because he is too simple and soft hearted. Our story also has three brothers who lived in a small town, but they were all three of them honest, kind, and hardworking. The elder one ran a shop, the middle one was a priest, and the youngest one had just finished his education. He had started taking up odd jobs to learn some money and to learn a trade. All three of them were fond of their mother. She had worked hard to bring up the three of them after the sudden death of their father. So children, you must have read many storybooks. Like reading storybooks, some must have read stories of two brothers where the elder ones are strong and clever, but they are unkind, and they laugh at the youngest ones because he is too simple and soft-hearted. So similarly, the lesson which we are going to study also has three brothers who are living in a small town, but they had three common qualities in them. The three common qualities in them were they were honest, kind, and hardworking. As you can see in the picture, three brothers are shown. The elder one ran a shop, the middle one was a priest, and the youngest one had just finished his education. He had just finished his studies, and he had started taking up odd jobs to earn some money and to learn trade. Trade means the business exchange of goods and services. All three of the brothers were close to their mother because they had lost their father because of sudden death. So she was the only mother who used to look after all her three children. She worked really hard to bring up all of her three children so that they could get proper education and they could be well settled in future. One day, their father's friend visited the mother. He said, "Sister, you know that I have a very prosperous business." Prosperous means successful. But now I am getting old and my only daughter is of a marriageable age. Marriageable means right age for marriage. I am looking for a son-in-law who would be a good husband to my daughter and who would also handle my business well. I like all your sons. If you permit means allow. If you permit, I will marry my daughter to one of them, but before that, I have a plan. He discussed the plan with her and she agreed quite readily. The next day, the friend went to each of the three brothers one by one. So, children, one fine day, their father's friend visited the mother and he said that their mother that he has a successful business and as he was getting old and his only daughter, she was of marriageable age, he was looking for someone who could handle all of his business and who would be a good and proper husband for his daughter. But he liked all of her sons, but his daughter could only get married to one son. So he had to choose any one among the three brothers. So what he did was he had a plan. So he discussed the plan with her and she agreed to it. She agreed quite readily and she was ready for it. He gave them each a sack of rice and said, "My dear boy, I am going away for a few months for some necessary work. Please look after this sack of rice till I come back." The friend went away. Many months passed, but he did not return. It was nearly a year before he came back. He visited the eldest brother first. The eldest brother welcomed him and gave him a small purse full of money. "Uncle, you had left a sack of rice with me. After a few months, I was worried that it may get spoiled." Spoiled means damage. Therefore, I sold the rice to my customers. Here is the money I got. Please accept it. Thank you, my boy. You are such an honest person. So, children, the next day he went to each of the three brothers, and what his plan was, one by one he gave them each a bag full of rice, a sack filled with rice. So this was his plan, and he said that he is going away for a few months for some necessary work. So after that, many months passed, but then too he did not return back, and it was almost a year when he got back. So when he came back, it was almost a year. So after he returned back, he visited the eldest brother first. So the eldest brother welcomed him and he gave him a small purse filled with money, and he told him that you had left a sack of rice with me, and after a month it would get spoiled. So because of that, what he did was he sold the rice to his customers, to the people who would buy something from him, who would buy some goods or who would buy rice products or something like that. And with that, he got the money and returned the money to him. Then the friend went to see the middle brother, who was a priest. The priest greeted him with joy and affection. Affection means care or feeling. He said, "Uncle, remember you had left a sack of rice with me an year ago? I had kept it for many months, but then I was worried that it may get spoiled. I distributed the rice among the poor in your name. They all blessed you for satisfying their hunger. However, I did that without your permission, and I am willing to pay you back for the rice. No, my boy, you acted wisely and kindly. The blessings that I got from the poor people are enough for me. Please don't even think about the money anymore. So, children, after he visited the eldest brother, he came visiting the middle brother, and then he came to see the middle brother. As shown in the picture, he is visiting the middle brother, who was a priest, and he greeted him very joyfully and asked him, "Do you remember you had left a sack of rice with me?" So the middle brother is asking him that, "Do you remember?" He also had kept the sack of rice with him for a month, just as the eldest brother did. So, children, if you keep some food material for a longer period of time, it may get spoiled, because something food material you cannot keep it for a longer time. You have to eat it sooner. So, same way he thought, if he keeps rice sack for a long time, it will get spoiled. And that is why he decided to distribute the rice among the poor people who were in need, who were hungry. And in return, he got blessings from them. But he had done that without his permission, without taking the permission. That's why the middle brother told him that he will pay back the rice. But the man told him that he had acted very wisely, and in return he had got blessings. That's all he had needed, which he got from the poor people. And the blessings were enough for him, and not the money. He didn't needed money, but only the blessings were enough for him. When the friend went to visit the youngest son, he too welcomed him with love and respect. But he said that he had a confession to make. Confession means a statement indicating that one is guilty of something wrong. The sacks of rice was lying with me for a long time, but then I had an idea. I often go to a neighboring farm to help with the work. I borrowed an unused plot of land from the farmer. I exchanged the sack of rice for paddy and sowed the paddy in the plot. Paddy means a field where rice is grown. Fortunately, the crops grew well and yielded 25 sacks of rice. I have kept back 5 of the sacks and sold 20 of them. Here is the money, if you allow. I will like to keep a part of it as my share, considering the labor and money I spent to get it all done. A wide smile spread on the friend's face. He had found his future son-in-law. So, children, lastly he went to visit the youngest son. The youngest son also welcomed him with love and respect, but he had something to tell. He had something to confess. As the sack of rice was lying with him for a long time, he too thought of an idea. He thought of an plan. He thought of an idea. And what he did was, he borrowed an unused plot or land where he could grow crops, which he borrowed it from a farmer, and exchanged the sack of rice in return. And in that place he grew some crops. So it grew very well, and from that he had made 25 sacks of rice. He made 25 sacks, and he sold 20 sacks from that, and then he kept back 5 sacks of rice and told him to allow him to keep the money, as he had worked hard and spent money to grow crops as his share. So he kept back the 5 sacks. So he had took wise decision. Now children, what did the eldest son do? The eldest son, he had sold the rice to the people and then he got the money. The middle brother, he gave the sack of rice to someone who was in need and was hungry, to the poor people. And the youngest one, what he did was he borrowed a plot in exchange of sack and grew rice crops. So the friend got very happy with the youngest son, as he had planted the rice grains and sold the sack, and with that he could make profit. He made profit out of that, and he proved to be the smartest among all the 3 brothers. That's why he got happy, and he found his future son-in-law, and he was very happy. Now these are the few words along with the meanings which we learned from the passage. First one is prosperous, meaning successful. Second one is marriageable, means right age for marriage. Third one is permit, means allow. Fourth one is affection, means care or feeling. Fifth one is spoiled, means damage. Sixth one is paddy, a field where rice is grown. Here in the picture you can see a field is shown. This is called paddy, a rice field. And the last one is confession, a statement indicating that one is guilty of something wrong. Now here are a few questions which you will have to answer. Write the antonyms of the opposites. First one is begin, second one is eldest, and third one is narrow. The next question is frame sentences for the words given below. The first one is earned, second one is prosperous. The next one is quiz, so you have to find the correct answers for the questions given below. The first question is, how many brothers are mentioned in the lesson? The options are given, you have to write the correct answer. The second question is, which crop is mentioned in the lesson? Next is the grammar part. Pick out the adjectives from the given sentences. So the first sentence is, all 3 of them were honest, kind, and hardworking. The second sentence is, the younger brother welcomed him with love and respect. So you have to pick out the adjective form from the given sentences. Adjective means words that tell us something more about noun or pronoun, and also which defines quality or quantity or feelings or numbers and so on. The next one is write meanings of. So the first one is yield, and the second one is greeted. So you have to find out the meanings and write the meanings. So the next question is answer the following questions. The first question is, what common qualities did the three brothers have? So children, what were the three common qualities of the three brothers? What qualities they were having in common that you have to write down in the answer. The second question is, what was the businessman looking for? Why? So the businessman, that means the man, why he had exactly come there, what was he looking for over there, why he had visited their place, for what reason, that you have to write down in the answer, and what he wanted. The third question is, how did the youngest brother use the rice? So children, how the youngest brother made use of the rice sack, what he did with the rice sack, that you have to write down in the answer. I hope it's clear till here. Thank you.